We back.
And we're back.
That's like your little slogan.
Yeah. And we're back.
Yeah, we back, man. Sani podcast. Back with my brother, hometown hero.
Yes.
Jamil, how you doing?
Oh man, any day above ground is a good one.
Right. We took a little break, but we back now, and no need to look to the past because we're gonna be consistent with it moving forward.
Absolutely.
We are on YouTube as of this recording. And Instagram, still gonna do Instagram, but you can watch the full episode on YouTube if you would like. Yeah, where do we start?
It's been a lot going on these last few months.
It's been a lot going on, man. First, we here at my garden behind us. If you can see,
it's a beautiful garden, by the way.
Thank you, brother. I got vegetables, fruits, herbs, the whole thing.
Grow your own food.
But man, there's just so much that I learned from growing my own food.
And the patience of it.
Yeah, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to be observant, how to be patient. It teaches me just so many things that I'm still continuing to learn. Like to see a seed grow from a seed to having fruit on it.
Right.
Months later is like the most. They're like my kids, you know what I mean?
I was like watching compare it to that, because it's like when a woman says, "Oh, I'm 2 months pregnant" or whatever, and all these changes that she goes through.
Yeah.
Until she gives birth, it's powerful.
Yeah, it's like my kids, man. It's like you see your kids grow up and go to college. I see my plants grow up and start producing fruit, and they looking gorgeous and looking good, and yeah, really feeding my family. And you'd be surprised, bro. Like you don't really need that much space to feed one family.
That's true.
Like a 4 foot by 4 foot bed could do a lot. You'd be surprised. And even that, you don't even need that. Containers. And then we were just talking about herbs. Herbs have so many crazy health benefits, and it's proactive. So it's not like medication where you get sick and then you go and take the medication. And also a lot of medications are a derivative. I think that's the right term.
Of herbs.
Of herbs, yeah. So like when you taking herbs on a daily basis or putting herbs, like I might put oregano in my potatoes because it tastes good. Sage in my turkey, ground turkey in my tacos, you know what I mean? Lavender, so on and so on. This is proactive medicine. This is how the people be living in the mountains. They be like, they ain't never been sick in 80. He 90 years old. He ain't never been sick in his life.
Or like the person that survived 3 weeks and they be like, man, how did you? Because they was probably eating them herbs.
Right. And that's what Dr. Sebi was on, from my understanding. I haven't read none of his books.
Yeah,
I haven't really
heavy.
Yeah, I haven't really got into it yet. But now that I'm on this journey, I am for sure. And I'm just really thankful for this opportunity because it's easy too. It's easy.
And I've been saying I was going to do it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And now seeing you do it, I'm like, man, I could do that on my patio.
Right. All you need is access. If you live in the northern hemisphere, you need access to the south, like light facing the south, because the sun is on the south side of the world, our world. You need good soil, which is easy. You can get that from Home Depot. I get mine from a local spot in Richmond. In a pot, bruh, and you could do the shit. Like, that's all it takes. And especially herbs is so easy to grow because, and you got to remember that plants want to live. Yeah. So, like, it takes a lot to kill them. Yeah. Because they want to live. And then herbs, the more you harvest it, the more they grow. So that's why herbs I feel like, are perfect for humans. It's like the perfect companion because you have to eat it in order for it to grow.
It's healing in the herbs,
man.
Yeah,
for sure. But, man, we'll talk about you, bro.
Yeah. Let's go.
So what's going on with Barbecue While Black?
Man, so we had planned to bring it back.
Wait, can we just for the folks who might not know, who might not be familiar, what exactly is Barbecue While Black? Just if you can give us a quick synopsis.
Yeah. Barbecue While Black is essentially a protest of black people coming together, loving on each other, eating barbecue, listening to good music. It is derived from the Barbecue Becky situation that happened 6 years ago, where my brother Kenzie, God rest his soul, and another gentleman were basically harassed for 3 hours by this white woman. She obviously had some mental health issues going on, down to the point when the police came, even the police he knew he was on camera, so he couldn't even like laugh. Like you could see him wanting to laugh, but that was our response. Over 4,000 people came out the first year. The following year, 5,000 people showed up. My brother Kenzie passed away last July, and we were going to bring it back just really in honor of him for his 1 year transition, and just it didn't work out. in the way we wanted it to. And I'm a firm believer, before I let somebody sabotage something that I build, I'll cancel it myself. So, yeah.
Okay, but you do have a plan B.
I do have a plan B. We're going to do something called Kenzie Smith Day at Lake Merritt. Some music, some food, community. There'll be like a community protest aspect to it. And that's all. That's what Kenzie was about. So, I guess take it back to the basics.
So, like, so are you able to have vendors, or people could just show up because it's the lake, or like, what is this like?
People are usually at the lake already with the vending. I'm not telling people to come in, but if you there, hey.
Yeah,
right. That's your own thing. But, like I said, people are always at the lake anyway, even when there's nothing happening. So I'm never telling folks who was already there, like, yo, you can't do it. I'm like, man, we ain't tripping on that. Get your money.
And when is this going to be?
July 19th.
Okay, and we're in the year 2025.
Yes,
in case you're watching this in the future.
That is true. July 19th, 2025.
Yeah. Man, I look forward to it. Like I said before, I was at the first barbecue while black, and that shit was beautiful.
Man,
that shit was beautiful.
That is a day that I look back with joy. Mm-hmm. I remember that day showing up. People was already setting up.
Yeah.
Like,
people was there early in the morning.
And like, even though I was walking around with nervousness because we didn't have no security, we didn't have nothing, I was like, this is Oakland. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to think like that, but I was being realistic. Mm-hmm. And it was beautiful, man. I had people coming up to me saying, man, I had funk with so-and-so. It was on site. We saw each other here. We didn't even, we deaded that. I had people telling me that they hadn't talked to family members in 10 years. They saw them at Barbecue While Black, and they started to heal that relationship. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that I'm most proud about. I mean, the food and stuff was great, and
black people love barbecue.
Black people do love barbecue.
That's
the funniest shit that happened that day was a lady. I don't know if she had just heard about it that day. This lady cooked some food on her stove, brought the pot, and set up a table. Was like, "Yo, I got food."
That's what's up for the free.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she was I don't know what she was doing because it was so many people. But shout out to that lady, whoever you are.
Right.
And Angela Davis came too.
Oh yeah,
that's a flex.
Forgetting that. That is a flex.
That's a flex.
Turn this down a little bit. But yeah, all right. So I'm trying to. We kind of winging it, not winging it, but we flowing.
Yeah.
But there is one question I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Because we was talking about this. What are your top 5 qualities that you look for in a woman?
Smart, business minded, beautiful.
What's business minded mean? And what does smart mean?
Smart meaning, like, I ain't saying you got to be a PhD, but just, have the balance of the streets, balance of the education. I ain't saying you got to be, but, just that balance.
Street smarts and academic.
Yeah, academically smart. I want to be able to have an intelligent conversation with you without you looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Right.
When I use words like expeditiously. Now I learned that from T.I. Don't judge me. But I'm just
also not putting us in a position to where we could get robbed or killed because your lack of street smarts.
Right.
Yeah.
What I say? Smart, beautiful, black.
Okay.
I probably should have said that one first.
Okay.
Definitely black. Was that 4? And just the overall, I guess I would say humanitarian, someone who loves to give back. Maybe even if it's not in the community, but just to peak, because a small group of family members could be a community.
Right. A block could be a community.
Yeah, a block could be a community.
Yeah.
So just someone who's giving, not mean. Of course you're a human being. People get mad all the time, but like you don't want to have a reputation of like every time I see this person they just mad. Mm-hmm. Like even when I was on my way here, I passed by some folks that I know, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, y'all?" And I kind of heard him as I was driving. Man, that's a good brother right there. And it made me feel good. So I think with women,
that's what's up.
I think with same thing. Like I seen something on Instagram, and it was just, and I know it was cut up, but it was like they was saying these bad things about whoever this lady was, and it was funny as hell. But it was like, who wants to walk around with that kind of energy in their life? Like when it's all said and done, I don't want nobody to be like he was an asshole, or he was he was mean or nothing. I want people to be like, man, that was a good brother.
Right. And a lot of times, side note, at funerals is when you really find out who people are.
For sure.
Like, yeah, that's where you see, he was really a funny nigga, or he was not to be trusted.
Yeah,
or,
I mean,
or
even,
you know what I mean, whatever it may be.
Even when Kenzie passed, you know, Fab came and gave a beautiful, I don't want to say a eulogy, but he came and gave a beautiful speech. And even I spoke, and I don't talk at funerals. But everybody who talked about him, they pretty much said the same thing. Like, this is a
Right.
guy I saw literally give a pair of shoes off his feet to somebody, because he was like, man, I got like 40 pair of shoes. And they were brand new shoes. He's like, here, brother, here you go. And I was like, you just, and he was like, man, he needed them more than me. And I was like, that's the kind of reputation you want to have, even in the afterlife, or
Right.
so to kind of circle it back around to your question is like, you know, a woman should be like that, you know, giving to others. And yeah.
Did you see that Paul Pierce thing?
When he said like getting married is something.
Wait. He was talking about white women and black women.
I don't
He
think
was
I
like,
saw that part.
Okay. Damn. See, I don't want to misquote him.
It's paraphrase. We're gonna
We're
paraphrase.
But this is a sentiment that I've heard before, which is why I even asked. He said that white women, he said that athletes or rich folks, basically, black men choose white women so often because they accept accountability and that they easier to get along with, something to this effect, and that they
I actually
apologize
did see
often.
that. I
But
did
you've
see
heard
that.
that outside of Paul Pierce, right?
Yeah, I've had
yeah.
conversations with my friends about that.
Right. I remember before you even address it or answer, I remember when I seen one of my old PE teachers from like middle school or something, and he was asking me about, you know, what you up to, my relationship and things like that at the time. And I was dating a black woman.
Right.
And he just got on me. He was like, man, you better be, he's a black man too. He was like, man, nah.
I've heard those conversations.
Yeah, he was like, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve the stress and stuff like that. What he was saying, and he was showing me pictures of his new wife, who was like, I don't know, some kind of Latino.
Which is cool.
Puerto
She's still a
Rican.
person of color.
Yeah. But anyways, he was going hard. How you doing?
Hello.
Oh, DoorDash. Okay, thank you.
Shout out to DoorDash.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you think about that, brother?
Well, I've actually never dated outside of my race.
Me neither, by the way.
So
But I'm not against it, but I haven't.
yeah, I used to be hella against it. Not
Why?
in a prejudiced way.
Why?
Because I just went growing up. Like, my mom used to always say things like, don't bring any mixed breed babies in my house or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to that effect.
My mom used to say, "Don't bring the white."
Yeah, my
It was-
mom
it
never
was just
said.
white.
Yeah,
It was just white.
she never flat out said, "Don't bring no white girls." And she was
No,
like,
my
"Don't
mama
bring
said
no
that.
mixed breed babies" or something like that. And for me, it was just like, I just never had the interest. Now I've seen some beautiful, gorgeous white women, or like women who are not black. But I think for me, I'm a product of black women, not just from my mother and grandmother, etc. Just black women raised me. And, you know, I got a homeboy, you know, who recently transitioned. His last partner was a white woman. And he would always have these wild, like, opinions, kind of like Paul Pierce.
Okay, let's go.
And so, and another friend, I've lost like three or four friends in the last, like,
Yeah, I know.
you like in the last month. Yeah.
Yeah, and I told you I respect you so much for going so hard, because a lot of people would need to
Yeah.
sit down for a second.
But the crazy thing is, so one of my friends died April 24th. The other friend died May 5th. But we all grew up together. So she would, when we would talk on the phone, she's like, why does he have these opinions? I said, that's his opinion. Like, you know, that's his,
And probably experience.
and his experience, right? And, you know, what I know about that man, he loved the woman he was with. And I told her that. You know, I said, I've never met this woman. But I'm, you know, of course, preparing for his service. You know, we were communicating. And I said, one thing I know, that the man loved you. He told me that. So I'm always going to respect you as his wife, fiance, with whatever role you're taking. But to answer the question, being that I've never dated outside my race, but I have friends who have, I mean, it's different. I mean, at one part, you can't help who you fall in love with, right? If you meet a person and you vibe with them, and that's what that is, like, But me personally, I've never gone. Actually, I tried to date a white girl one time when I was like 14. And my brother, like, he was like, man, well, look, he was a white girl because he was like hella advocating for that. And I actually found out that she was a prostitute. I don't think he knew. We just happened to be driving down San Pablo, actually, and I seen her on the stroll. And we were just like in a super talking
She was a
stage.
teenage prostitute.
Yeah, because I had to be about like 14.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked on the phone a couple times. It was very like teenagery, innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't hear from her. And literally one night, me and my brother just randomly driving down San Pablo, and I seen her on the stroll, and I was like, oh.
Mm.
And then after that, I was kind of like, whatever.
You know what? I just said I never dated outside my race. I take that back. I definitely have, but I haven't seriously dated a white girl.
Yeah, I've never seriously dated a white girl.
But I have dated other races. And even then, I've also dated an Algerian girl who was African technically.
Yeah.
But the experience was a lot different than a Black American.
One of my first crushes, her mom was white and her dad was black. Mm-hmm. Her name was Chelsea. Shout out to you, Chelsea. I haven't seen this girl in probably 25 years. Mm-hmm. But yet, like, and she grew up in like Pacifica. Like, I didn't even know what Pacifica was. And
I don't know. Oh, wait.
It's like on the other side of the city.
Yeah, it's along Highway 1.
Yeah, so, you know, that was, and I mean, again, we were like 11 or 12 or something like that. So it was very like innocent. But she was a cool chick. Like, her mom was cool. Her dad worked with my dad. That's how I met her. They were a cool family.
So do you see any differences, though?
In dating Caucasians or anybody?
Or just any race other than, like, just different races?
There's different dynamics, but at the end of the day, I mean, white women get attitudes. You know, anybody get an attitude. I mean, I think that a lot of those opinions are rooted in you grew up with a mama like that. So that's what you're going to go out into the world like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. And a lot of people say, like when I was younger, my friends would date like white, Hispanic. They were like, man, they do whatever you say. And I was like, man, I want a sister. Like, and this is me at like 16. Like, I was like, man, I don't care about none of that. Like, you know, there are black women who will submit to the right man. And if you know what real submission is, and that's not saying, oh, do whatever I say and what I say goes. Like, real submission also is the man submitting to the woman. Whatever that looks like for that individual person. It's okay to be like, yes, honey, you know, whatever, even if you don't want to do it, like, you know.
Let me get in here, though.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think back about my dating experiences. Man, I'm so wrong. I think that there might have been like a year stretch where I dated everything but black women.
But was it for experience or?
Yeah, it was largely for, yes, largely for experience. Just trying something new. Not that I hated black women or anything, but
let me cut in to what you said. Just because a person dates outside of their race don't mean they hate black women.
Right.
Now, there are some black men who say things that would make you think that they hate black women to defend them dating, whether it be white, Hispanic, or whatever. And I think that we have to understand, and there are some black men who don't like black women. It's just the truth. But
That's true.
We have to come to that consensus of like, hey, you meet somebody, or what I also think about, like when LeBron went to the prom LeBron's son, went to the prom with the Caucasian girl. His school was probably predominantly white. So,
right. It is about what you're around too.
Yeah.
But let me say this though. I did see a difference. And now that it's coming back to me, I remember telling one of my cousin about all these differences. You know what I think it is from my perspective? I think that just us as West Africans or descendants of West Africans who were enslaved in America, I think that we have a lot of generational trauma and it's in our DNA.
Absolutely.
And I think that it shows up in dating. It shows up in relationships. It shows up in marriage. And sometimes when you date outside of your race, or my experience is when I date outside of my race, it's a lot of traumas that I don't see.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could just be the people who I dated, but you don't see the same kind of generational trauma.
Yeah, but I also think that, and like I said, because I've never dated outside of my race, I could be wrong. But then there are certain things, let's just say you date a Caucasian woman, there are certain things, certain struggles as a black man that black men that we deal with, or just as black people.
Yeah, it's black people as a whole.
That she might not understand. And you might try to get her to understand, and she just, as a white woman coming from a different world, don't understand. That's not necessarily her fault.
Or any race, not just a white woman. But so that's what I was going to say. Ultimately, what brought me back to black women is that I started to see the disconnect. I started to see myself, and you know me, I'm a reader. I like history, and you know what I mean. I'm really about learning about the struggle of our ancestors.
For sure.
And I find myself over explaining, and I just ain't got time for it's certain things that just got to be understood. I shouldn't have to explain to you why you can't do this out here.
But I'm also one of the people, I want to come on like, what's up, my nigga? Like, I can't do that with nobody.
You want to do that with a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
like yeah, because it's like, you know, and it's just if that's the dynamic of the relationship,
right.
Of course.
No,
like,
I respect it.
You know, you can't do that with nobody that ain't black.
Right, and it's just so many things that when you're dating someone, now we can take black out of it. When you're dating someone from your culture, who grew up in your culture, there's so many unspoken things that you don't have to explain. Yeah. But when you're dating someone outside of your culture, man, you gotta go through everything. You gotta over-explain.
It's like you gotta give them a teacher lesson.
Yeah, in everything, and it's all these little things. It could be from the food that we eat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this shit that you make, or
you make some green bean casserole. I don't want to eat that.
Yeah. Or it could just be, like you said, it could be the street smarts part of it. It's like, I'm not about to sit in this car right here all day. You tripping. You know what I mean? You think, oh, it's not a big deal, but you don't know where we at. You don't understand how serious this is.
You're just sitting on that block.
Right.
It might look quiet.
Right. But why would I even want to put myself in that position?
But even down to, like, black men who date maybe white women who grew up in the hood. Like, she might have been your neighbor. Like I got homies that grew up in the ghettos of East Oakland. They're white cats, and no, they don't try to act black or whatever acting black is, but they just are of the community. So from the outside world, they're like, man, you trying to be black? It's like, no, man, that's just Oakland, like, or that's just LA, or that's just wherever.
Right, and I get that part too. Actually, I'm scratching I got a new tattoo on my neck. Just scratched it off. My bad. Anyways, so my father's ex-wife, but she has children. Most of my siblings on my father's side are from her.
Right on.
But she's actually a white woman.
Okay.
And shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
I don't know if you're gonna put your business out there, but I'll just say shout out to you.
Yeah, my older brother's mother is also Caucasian.
Okay, but I'll say this. Mine, though, she was actually adopted by a black family.
Wow.
in the city. And so she grew up with around nothing but black people. She met she knows a sister, one of her sisters that's Caucasian, but she doesn't know her parents. Didn't have a relationship with her parents, her biological parents. She has a distant relationship with them. I'll say that. So she was raised by a black family, in a black family with black brothers and black sisters.
It's funny that you say, because I saw a post on Facebook and it made me think about as you were talking. And it was like, because you know how black people are like, man, sit your black ass down. And it was like, I wonder if white people will be like, sit your white ass down. So,
I don't think they say that.
No,
do they?
No, I shared it and I was like, white people, chime in. And one of my Caucasian colleagues, or former colleague, she was like, yeah, my mom definitely used to say that.
Oh, really? Okay, I stand corrected.
And then somebody was like, yo, I'm in a mixed family and I've definitely heard my white white family members say that. And I'm like, that is hilarious. Yeah. But it's like, like you said, like she was adopted by a black family. She can't help the culture that she was put into.
Definitely say the N-word.
I mean, Tina Marie, prime example.
Oh, she was raised by black folks?
No, she was raised by white folks. Oh. But 90% of her fan base is black people.
That's true. And she married a black.
She was going to marry Rick James, and that obviously didn't work out.
No, but she has her
daughter. Yeah, I think her daughter's father's black as well.
Right.
You know, but the black community, that's our light skinned auntie, or that's our that's our.
I didn't even know she was white until I got older.
She didn't. Well, her friend, one of her best friends, said, I didn't know she was white until her mom picked us up from school one day, and she was like, "Wait, you're white?" And it's like, "Oh yeah," but you know, we invited her to the barbecue, as they say, you know.
So today we was at, speaking of barbecue, but today we was at the Malcolm X festival.
We were.
And it's just coming up on Malcolm X's birthday.
Well, his 100th birthday. All praises due.
100th birthday. That's true. Damn. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
I just finished reading his book for the second time. I mentioned this to you, but I'm going to tell the people too. And for the first time, I guess I didn't read the epilogue before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess back in the day, I didn't used to read that shit.
Yeah,
but now
I always thought it was just a waste of time.
Yeah, but man, I read it this go around, and then I'm in my 30s now, so this hit even different. I can understand every single thing that he's going through. And the epilogue is written by Alex Haley, who is the writer of the book.
Correct.
And it just totally humanized Malcolm X. I'm getting to the point to where I don't really have idols anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's healthy for my spirit to have idols.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But it really humanized him, not in a bad way, but it just gave like a fly on the wall perspective, because Malcolm X trusted Alex Haley because of Alex Haley's work.
Right.
He trusted that he would write his book because he knew that Alex Haley was fair and transparent and did not put his personal bias in his work.
Correct.
And so Alex Haley detailed how he met Malcolm X, because I always thought that they was close, because I remember seeing an interview where Alex Haley was like his kid's godfather. So maybe he got close with Betty after he passed.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They had to do the business together.
Right. But he just detailed how he met him and how Malcolm X was a street nigga for real. Like he was really like all the way up and down, up and down. So Malcolm X did not trust him at first, understandably. Why would he trust him? But then he, over the years, Malcolm X got kicked out of the Nation of Islam, or left, however you want to put it. Yeah. And then so Alex Haley was there throughout that whole time. The book was actually originally going to be written for the Nation of Islam, and all the proceeds were going to go to the Nation of Islam.
I heard about that.
That's what Alex Haley said in a book, and he writes down and talks about every conversation that he had with Malcolm X, and then how the conversations got deeper and deeper over the years. And then so after Malcolm X split, he was like, okay, no, we need to change this and do this for the book. And then Malcolm X actually had a meeting with a lawyer to write his will and do some of the last parts of his business. Right. And it was like the meeting was 5 days after he was assassinated. Wow. So there was a lot of things that he never even got to finish. Yeah. But Alex Haley still, my understanding is Alex Haley still followed through and made sure that his family got the proceeds.
Yeah, and I know because when their house burned down, he basically pushed the line to get the advance so Betty could buy a new home.
Yep. He was pushing the line, and Alex Haley was helping him throughout all that process and really just writing it. But one thing that really stood out to me, and maybe I'm getting off track. I'm going back to the Malcolm X Festival. But let me say this. One thing that really stood out to me is just how much I knew he was stressed, but how stressful those last days was.
They had to be stressful.
Having the motherfuckers try to kill his whole family.
Yeah.
On several occasions. Yeah. The house burning was just only the close one. On several occasions they tried to. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They tried to bomb his car.
Oh yeah, I remember they tried to get to the white, and the dude was like, "I couldn't do that to you."
Yeah, they tried to poison him in Egypt.
Yeah, I remember. Like, he got sick.
It's probably countless others that we don't even know. I mean, I remember because Alex Haley even said stuff that Malcolm X didn't say in the book, because Alex Haley would talk about their interviews for the book. Yeah. So he would say stuff in the epilogue that wasn't in the book, and I feel like the epilogue was like 100 pages. That's why I said it's like a book in itself.
Like a whole new book in itself.
Yeah, and it's so interesting.
I'm about to go and check that out,
bro. That in itself is so interesting.
I wonder if they have any recordings of those interviews.
That would be so dope.
Yeah, like
that would be
fire.
Yeah, that would be so dope. And
as you can see, we're into history.
Yeah, we are. We are. But yeah, man, he was just so stressed out. Motherfuckers tried to kill his family.
Somebody was like, man, as stressed as Malcolm was back then, he needed 3 therapists.
Right.
Or 3 therapy sessions.
Took his try and take his home, and he out here, you know, still fighting for the people, and ultimately end up dying for the people.
Yeah.
But anyways, to bring it back to today, there was like vendors, and there was one vendor in particular where people had books, and they appear to be white people who were selling books.
Okay. I did see a booth with books, but I can't remember the vendor.
And so it was kind of like, it wasn't in the main park. It was like kind of off to the side.
Okay.
But we had this conversation, and he was telling me how black people, he gave me this pamphlet that said that black people need to lead the charge to defeat fascist Trump. Right? In my head, I'm just like, well, I didn't, not just in my head, I was telling him, I'm like, I think that a fascist Trump creates the conditions for a revolution. And I think that a revolution is the only way that colonized people can truly be free with the fall of the American empire. Does that mean that the United States cannot exist? No, but it can't exist how it exists now.
Right.
It can't be the world power. It can't control the world. It can't take up most of North America. Or
That's true.
Yeah, like
even down to like the terrorist thing. We were talking about me and some folks were talking about that at the festival. Down to we were actually talking about this camera. It's like the pocket camera. And the lady was like, yeah, like when I first saw it, it was like $600. But then I went back to try to get it after the whole tariff thing, and it was like $900. And I was like, wow, like just in a matter of like a week. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, I say that to say that I feel like one of Malcolm X's criticisms was of liberals.
Yeah.
And he has a strong criticism of liberals. And it was always that liberals are smiling in your face, but they really just want your political power. So when that guy is telling me we need black people to lead the charge, he's saying, no, we need the black vote to get Trump out of office. We need the black vote so that we can carry out our liberal ideas. And then we can talk about what we can do for black people. That's how they get us.
Yeah, but wasn't the white vote will put him in office?
Right. Right. I mean, just because they have such large numbers, but I'm just saying it's like, yeah, man, Malcolm was just right about so many things. And forgive me, I'm kind of ranting at this point, but that shit really hit me.
Yeah.
That shit really hit me reading it for the second time.
I'm really going, because I actually listened to the audio, and I know it's like a condensed version of it. I listened to it.
The audiobook is condensed?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. The audio version.
Oh.
They have on Audible, they have like the full deal. But like even still, it's still powerful, you know, in the things that he was saying in his transformation, and you could tell that it was real.
It was real.
You know, some people go to prison, they find religion, they get out, they back to doing the same shit. Like,
yeah.
And it may be because it's hard. You know, maybe they really want to commit to their religion, whether it be Christianity, Islam, whatever. But the lore of the streets, it gets you. And I think that Malcolm really stood firm in his belief. And I don't know if it's because, you know, when he joined the nation, that's all he was around after he got out of prison. So it made it, I guess, less
But he
easy.
was a leader, though.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. His discipline was remarkable.
Yeah, his discipline was super remarkable.
Yeah.
Like down to like when he talks about celibacy.
Yeah, not having sex for 12 years. I think it was 12 years.
Yeah, like he
until he got married.
When he went to prison after he didn't have sex until he married Betty, which is
right.
Like that's some discipline.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yes. And then start having babies back to back to back.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah. You was charged. You was charged. Yeah, brother, you know, but
yeah.
You know that takes a different, not just for the physical, but that takes a hell of a lot of discipline.
Right, and belief in God. Really,
and belief in like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
You know, at that time. But I want to say I heard him say even after he left the nation that he did agree with Elijah Muhammad's message to black people that we should, you know, stand together, but there were other things that they just couldn't see eye to eye on.
Right. He just felt like he was hypocritical.
Yeah.
That's deja vu. Nah, he definitely said that. And even Alex Haley talked about that in the epilogue too, because he was like, there was a part where Malcolm X because they had started writing the life story already,
Right.
and so most of the book was already done when he left the Nation of Islam. And Malcolm was reading it, and there was a point where he was like, I want to change this because I'm no longer feel this way about Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
And then he thought about it, and he was like, nah, I can't do that, because at the end of the day, he still changed that. He changed my life.
Right.
He changed thousands of people's lives. And yeah,
as crazy as it's gonna sound,
probably millions, I should say.
definitely millions. As crazy as it's gonna sound, Elijah Muhammad was a human being, and of course,
like all of us.
Yeah, like all of us. And I don't agree with some of the things that he did in his life, but I can't negate the fact that he did definitely change millions of men and women's lives.
And that's why humans are not to be idolized.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this light real quick. I know you cold.
And we'll be back.
I know you cold. You ain't cold?
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, you think this kind of conversations be going over people's head?
Sometimes if they're not,
I think it's necessary though.
It is necessary, and I think that, as Malcolm X being one of the greatest revolutionaries that ever walked the face of the earth, I think we need to study Malcolm and his discipline and a lot of the things. I'm sure, he wasn't a perfect man even after he accepted Islam, but, he showed improved. And that's
Right.
that's a powerful assessment of his life.
Right. And like I said, it's just dangerous to because essentially he was idolizing Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
And I think that
I think what hurt him the most is that he found out Elijah Muhammad was human.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what we go through too when we see in all of our celebrities from our community get chopped down, i.e. Diddy. It's like, at the end of the day, you just gotta remember that these folks is human, bro, and we should never idolize. I don't care who it is. You don't idolize humans.
And as an adult, you said, I'm starting to not realize that as well. I don't agree with any of the things that Diddy's on trial for, but all it showed is he's a human being. He made some bad choices, allegedly.
He had a lot of power and was able to continuously make those bad choices with no repercussions.
Exactly, with the abuse of power, but it showed that he was a human being. And for me, people never agree with when I say stuff like this. Is like, I always feel bad for all parties involved.
Yeah, me too.
If we talk about Diddy, Diddy included, because who knows what he went through in his life that he didn't just wake up like that. And he got to do some soul searching with God or whoever, his God, whatever, whether he gets off or not. He got to do some deep soul searching. I don't know if he's been doing that as of right now, but he got to come to terms with that and with his maker, because at the end of the day, even if every human being that's accused him of something forgave him, he still gotta go in front of, and be submissive to his higher power. Abuse is horrible. It's horrible, whether it be against man, woman, children, whatever. But I will say that I don't think he woke up that way. But I also think when he got that power, when, other people in the industry with power gave him power, made him feel like he had power, a false sense of power, he took it and ran with it. Like most celebrities, they get in trouble. And they showed him, you still a nigga.
Right. And for somebody on the outside like myself, I just feel like it's just a wild culture in Hollywood that we don't really know how deep it go.
Yeah, I'm sure it goes real deep.
Yeah, like it's just a wild culture in the entertainment business as a whole. Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, the entertainment industry it's a wild place, man. But there's a place to be successful and not do all that shit.
Perfect segue. Sinners.
Yes. Excellent movie.
Right. Yeah.
That is a great segue.
Yeah, because I mean that movie has, first of all, shout out to Ryan Coogler.
Genius.
You are a genius. We are so grateful to have you.
And to the people out there, like, he from Richmond, he from the town. I don't care what y'all say.
People be saying he from Richmond?
Bro, they be saying, because he moved to Richmond when he was like 12 or something. I'm like, bro, he from the town. I don't care what y'all talking about. If we can claim Tupac, we can claim Ryan Coogler.
Y'all claim Tupac?
We definitely claim Tupac. I mean, we know the origins. We know he spent a lot of his life on the East Coast, but you know.
See, I moved to Sacramento when I was 10, and I say I'm from Sacramento.
I mean, if you I would
just
say,
to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you came of age in Sacramento, I mean, I get what you're saying. I didn't move to Sacramento until I was grown.
Right. No. I get you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if you had all these different experiences becoming a man and
Tupac moved to the Bay when he was grown.
He did move to the Bay when he was grown.
But I get it. I'm not mad. I don't even want to join the argument. I'm just saying. It's a little bit of a double standard in these arguments.
It is.
They pick and choose who they want to
Like Zion and I said, we claim Tupac as a sense of pride.
Right. I feel like people at the Bay claim Tupac because Tupac claimed the Bay.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, and even after he moved to L.A., like it was, you know, in that death row culture.
Then he started claiming L.A.
Yeah, it's like, but I also think Tupac was kind of like, I don't want to speak out of turn, but was kind of like a person who may have been adopted and placed in these different homes. You don't really know where your central home is. So he was just this young kid. Because I mean, when we think he was 25 years old when he died, so it's like he was essentially still a kid. Like
right. He wasn't all the way mature yet.
He wasn't all the way mature yet. So he was just trying to find his place. And if his place was Oakland, Marin, Baltimore, New York, L.A., you know, I think, you know, in later time he probably would have figured that out.
Mm-hmm. I hope that's not a mosquito on your arm.
Yeah, he would have figured it out.
It's
but
coming back for you, brother.
It's because I'm black. He would have figured it out. But to our point about sinners, I mean, Ryan Coogler's a genius, man.
Yeah, genius. With a J. God-given genius.
Yeah. And for me, I don't even like movies like that. But I was like, yo, I'm going to go see it. You know,
so many layers, bro.
Man, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Me too.
And some people who call it whack, I'm like, maybe you just ain't tapped in. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Man, I hate. Can you just kill it for us? You keep letting the motherfucker go.
Michael Jackson be like, don't kill it. They found a ladybug on set. He like, don't kill it. It's like, Michael, it's okay. But you know, but seeing in the history and I'm not gonna give the movie away for those who haven't seen it.
We should at this point.
I mean, yeah, the movie been out a month.
Yeah.
So the part where it goes from like the blues down to like modern day hip hop twerking, like the connection that he made with that, like
genius.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. And as somebody who listens, because I listen to classical jazz, I listen to a lot of old music, Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong. Just going back, I feel like every decade, I've always been interested in these different genres. And that's something that I've always realized. Ray Charles is one of my favorite artists. It's genius. Like every generation, what we think about what we say about drill music, quote unquote, right. Or what we say about, I think you called it ho rap.
Oh, 304 rap.
Yeah. What we say about that, the previous generations had the same criticism of their kids. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even Ray Charles was getting the same criticism.
Yeah.
It was secular music. We can say, oh, that's not that bad. But no, to them it's that bad. It's
like,
the same.
You taking the gospel and putting some dirt on it.
Right. To them it's the same, if not worse. It's like, man, you going to hell because of this music.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, and then what I was saying earlier about Malcolm X's criticism of the liberals in the movie. See, I would love to ask Ryan Coogler if this is true, because I've seen him talk about the movie in interviews, and he don't go deep into it. He don't give his opinion. He cut off people.
Super surface level.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to figure it out for yourself.
Right, but I also feel like a part of him don't want to go into it because he want to keep making the movies.
Yeah.
But like, you know how the vampires was like, oh, we are one people and we can do this together, and they just wanted the music, and I feel like they was trying to take the black people's political power. They wanted black people to join them just like liberals do.
Kind of like feminists.
Right, and then so that they could defeat the Southern whites, which was the racist ones. He said, we're going to get them next. That's what they did. That's what they do historically in America. That's what happens. After the Civil War, these white folks did not care about black people being slaves or not.
They did.
They wanted to free black people so they could win the war, and then they could use our political power so that when they get new states, those states could vote basically Democrat.
Then they
liberal at the time.
And then they created prison.
Right. And so like they never wanted to live with us at all. They never want us to be free or be equal. They just wanted us to like vote for them.
Yeah.
vote for their interests, really. And so like I'm so turned off by liberals, bro. It's ridiculous. I'm turned off by it all. I feel like none of it is for black people.
Yeah.
And I think that was the point of the movie. None of it is for black people.
I definitely think, because I've seen a couple of interviews that Ryan has done, like the long, like with Sway and like.
Oh, I didn't see the Sway one yet.
Yeah, it was a good interview. You could definitely tell he's keeping his surface level because he wants to keep making those kind of movies. But also, it's like, yo, bro, you got to think. I can't give you everything.
Right. And as an artist, I understand that too. You kind of don't want to even go into all of, because it defeats the
purpose of making the art.
Yeah,
like,
making the art.
It's like
I made the art already. I shouldn't have to break it down.
Exactly.
For you.
It's like if you see something in a museum,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's interpretation is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, everybody's not going to like it, obviously. So it's like, oh, y'all hype the movie. And it's like, no, you might not be tapped in, and that's okay. And you may not want to get
It might have went over your head.
Yeah, you might just wanted to watch the movie for entertainment purposes and not, but me because.
But I still feel like it was dope, even if you watched it at the surface level.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
I mean, it was
get
a great movie in general.
Yeah,
like,
it was a great movie. Regardless if you got anything or not, it was a great movie.
At first, I was like, yo, it could have did without the vampire shit, but I also understand why it was in the movie.
Right.
And I would just like to say Michael B. Jordan acted his ass off.
I think, I didn't see Creed, and I feel bad for not seeing Creed.
Yeah, I need to watch Creed.
But I feel like that was his best performance.
Yeah, like
by far.
Yeah, as soon as he came on camera and I seen what they was doing with the I said, oh yeah, this brother finna get down.
I feel like that was his best performance.
Yeah.
Like
you can tell he's really mastering the art of acting.
Yeah,
in a way, maybe like a Denzel. Not
his confidence is way different now.
Yeah,
you can see it.
But that also comes with working with a director who you've built a catalog with.
Right.
It's no different than Denzel and Spike Lee.
Right.
And I know back to even like the Tupac, I know what he was saying that him and John Singleton had made an agreement to do basically essentially what Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler are doing. Basically, we gonna make movies together. I mean, of course, he's gonna do other movies, but like that big boom is always when we get together and do these movies.
You know what I say something else. I really want to see some hood movies again. You know how in the 90s we had hella hood movies like Fridays, The Boys in the Hood, or even the early 2000s, The Baby Boy.
Yeah, now
and
we
shit
have
like
Tubi movies. But I will say, there's a show on they put it on Tubi later. It's called McGraw Ave. It's based in Detroit. That shit is so fire.
I never heard of it. It's a movie?
It's a TV show.
Oh, TV show.
I'm waiting for season 3 to come out.
I might have to check it out.
It's so fire. And I mean, it is low budget, and you can tell if they had a higher budget, you could do more. But that shit is fire.
Has there ever been an authentic hood movie in the Bay?
No.
Okay.
No.
I know there's some low budget ones, but like a feature film.
No.
I don't think so either. I feel like this is such an untapped culture.
Or what they do is they do these documentaries about like Mac Dre or they.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a movie like a real
not like,
movie that really showed the culture.
Yeah, we've never had our Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood.
And I don't understand why, because it's so
unless
unique.
Unless you want to say Poetic Justice, but that was like
that wasn't.
That wasn't.
He didn't get to the Bay to the end of the movie.
Exactly, and then after that,
it was nighttime.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we've never had our New Jack City. We've never had.
And I don't know why. Isn't New Jack City based off of Bay Area?
It's based off a few things. It's based off the Chambers Brothers. They say it's elements of Felix Mitchell.
Okay, so it's just a lot of few.
Yeah, just kind of like just taking elements of these different things that happen in real life and creating a movie.
Ryan Coogler.
I would like to see an authentic Bay Area movie.
Like authentic, not just like have hella cameos in it. I want to see like what it's really like to grow up here.
Yeah, from the lens of someone else. Because we know what it's like to grow up here. But just like...
I mean, what do you mean by the lens for someone else? Because John Singleton's from L.A.
Yeah, John Singleton is... When I say the lens of someone else, someone from here, but just a Ryan Coogler who can really get that $50 million budget and really like, I'm coming to the Bay Area and do a real story.
Yeah, a real story.
About the Bay Area, and it's not... some bullshit.
Or it could just be one city. Or it don't even have to be the Bay Area. It could be any city in Northern California, but just the culture is different.
Yeah, the culture is different. I actually was telling someone at the festival when they had the dancing, I said, people everywhere else would never believe that you see Asians turf dancing. Like, to us, that shit is normal.
Yeah.
To somebody else, or when or Asians say the N word, or people or Mexicans say like. I mean, even
we grew up with it.
We grew up with it, and you can have your opinion about how you feel about it.
But regardless, we did grow up.
But
with it.
that shit is normal to us. Like,
yeah,
so,
I didn't really start realizing that was an issue till I went to the South, and then it started hitting different after I live in the South and come back. And people say
I didn't realize it was an issue till I started writing a movie script with a friend of mine that we've been working on and off for about maybe like 6 years, and we wanted like an Asian character to talk how we talk, and it was like, this ain't gonna translate. Taking this to the world, because I'm like, man, it's Asian saying nigga, like we gotta, even though like if we do it like that, it's gonna stay local,
right? And you know what too, the reason why sometimes it don't translate to me is because I feel like it's almost like trying to speak Spanish to one of your Spanish speaking friends, and you just learned the language. You sound hella stupid to them.
Exactly.
It's like,
they're like, dude, what are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying, just the pronunciation. Not even if you get the words right, the pronunciation can't be right unless you practice.
Right.
And are around people who speak like how you want to speak or how you should speak. And I feel like a lot of people get wrong with the N-word who are not black because they just don't know how to speak our language.
Yeah.
And so like the way they say it just don't sound right, and it's very off-putting.
Yeah, and it's like, even like when folks, they get mad and they say that, I'm like, bro, like it just makes my blood.
You know what I don't like saying when black people say nigga to white folks or any other race.
Yeah.
They're like, y'all niggas tripping. It's a bunch of white people in the room and they laughing. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but there's some people out here who be doing that.
You know what tripped me out? I think I might have talked about this on the podcast when T-Pain said he met Michael Jackson. He's like, what's up, my nigga? He said, I guess a comedian who was there, he told his version of the story, and Michael was like, they'll never believe you.
What happened? No, Michael said that to T-Pain?
He came downstairs and was like, what's up, my niggas?
Yeah.
And they was like, did Michael Jackson just say what's? But then a comedian who was there told his version of the story, and like Michael was talking hood. It was like, you can tell anyone, they'll never believe you.
Right. No, I did hear him say that actually. But yeah, man, it's just we here. But we can go ahead and wrap it right here, brother. Any last words? Because I know we got some things coming up. It's a beautiful summer coming up in the Bay.
Beautiful summer coming up. I'm back outside with the T-shirts.
Back outside. I need a hoodie, like I said. Or you only got T-shirts right now?
Right now, I'm pretty much sold out of T-shirts, but when I do the order, I can always order a hoodie.
You got hats though?
They're coming.
Okay.
And shout out to the guy who gave me the idea at 510 Day. He was like, you got hats in this? And I was like, nah. He was like, you should make some hats. And when I did the mock-up, I was like, yo, this is kind of fire. Like,
and what's the brand?
So the brand is called A Tribe Called Oakland. Another Oakland brand, trademarked my original name. They'll remain nameless. But I felt that it was time anyway after that whole experience. Let's come with something not necessarily new, but let's change it up. The designs are still mine. So outside all summer with the clothes, we still doing photography. Brown Sugar Bay is still in effect. And let me know when you got any events that I could come, do behind the scenes or something like that. For sure. We again, July 19th, Kenzie Smith Day. It's a day for my brother to honor his life. And man, like that's one of them things that's one of them special, like, people's like, man, you need to make money. I said, I'm not making money off my brother's name. I don't believe in that.
I respect that so much.
Even with barbecue, they was like, man, you need to charge. I said, it ain't
about that.
It didn't start. And even like Versus, when they did it for free during the pandemic, when they tried to upgrade the experience and start charging people was like, man, I'm not paying for Versus. It was free for 2 years. Like, so,
but even then, everything don't got to be about money.
Yeah, it's just about providing a good time. Imagine how many people didn't unalive themselves because they had Versus during COVID and they stuck in the house, or people who were depressed and when their favorite artist was on Versus, and they like, oh man, I get to see so and so on that same thing with Barbecue While Black. Like, some people have told me Barbecue While Black changed their lives, and I think it's beautiful.
Right.
I think it's, and for me, even like when I try to be like, okay, I'm moving on. Like, it's a great piece of my history. There's like, nah, blood, you got to keep like pushing that line, even if you don't do it again. Like, you got to keep telling people that you did that.
Yeah, brilliant community initiative, and there's so many things like that going on right now in Oakland, and so yeah, for me, it's just a great place to be, and
Yeah.
I love that. A great place for the kids too.
You know, it's interesting. After I left the festival, I was like, I actually miss living in Oakland. And I was just like, but I was like, I miss the old Oakland. Like, Oakland is hella gentrified now. I mean, but also on the flip side of that, Oakland has always been very diverse. We've always had black, white, Asian, Filipino, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just like, now it feels like a disconnect.
Yeah, it's the white people walking the dogs. It's white people outside right now.
Man,
walking
I
their
remember
dogs.
the first time, this was like maybe 18 years ago, seeing this white lady walking her dog in an acorn by the towers. And I was like, this lady really don't know where she at. But I think maybe she did know she was there because she knew that her people was coming. I don't know,
All
but
downtown and shit.
yeah, man, downtown don't look the same. It don't feel the same. And I know things are supposed to change and evolve and all these things, and maybe some of those things were destructive. That's up to your interpretation, but. It's just when you're used to seeing something a certain way. It's like when your kids grow up. You're like, man, I remember my daughter was 5 and she did this and make me. Now she's 15 or whatever, and she's such a grown into a beautiful young woman. But then you remember when she was 5 and like driving past where Mr. Pizza Man used to be. Like, man, we should get them $2.50 slices.
So let me say this: what's old Oakland to you? What years? What decade?
I would say the time that I can remember during the hyphy movement.
So early 2000s.
So like early 2000s.
Okay.
Maybe late 90s going into like maybe 2012.
Right.
Maybe?
And I would say somebody who grew up in the 70s would say that Oakland is
oh,
nothing
Oakland.
like or I'm just saying they would say that the 2000s was nothing like the 70s. The 70s Oakland was more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
more Oakland.
They were like, man, Oakland, that's what Oakland had to play us.
Right. So I just feel like, yeah, I mean,
it's like a time capsule.
Yeah, and the culture changes throughout generations, and of course that's gonna happen if we don't own our communities, regardless.
Yeah.
But this is America. This is America.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, man. We can wrap it right there. I appreciate you, brother. As
Man,
always,
we're back.
We back.
We'll
Thank
be
you,
more
everybody. We'll be more consistent. Thank you, everybody.
But
who
hey,
support.
we had to live lives, so don't judge us.
Had to live
Kendrick made
lives.
us wait 5 years for an album.
Right. Right.
And it was brilliant.
Right. So you will be seeing us soon and more often. But yeah, peace and blessings, y'all.
Peace.